tips for couples that are both HSP. Yeah, I appreciate that you brought that up. I live in a family where both my parents are highly sensitive. My son's highly sensitive. My most recent partner is highly sensitive, although we're now split up. And um, it is really hard. And the thing is, remember I said there's as many different ways to be highly sensitive as there are highly sensitive people, right? Remember that? So just because you're both highly sensitive doesn't mean you're the same. So for example, in my family, I have misophonia. I cannot bear the sound of people eating or chewing gum. My ex cannot bear the sound of tapping or glass tinkling, banging against each other. And my son cannot bear the sound or the feel of erasing with a pencil eraser or touching styrofoam. In fact, God, he just told me something. Oh, he can't use paper. His new thing is paper napkins. They drive him bonkers. They fall off his lap, but really, he just doesn't want to have to touch them to pick them up again. He just told us this at dinner a few nights ago. So we all have our different sensitivities, and those are just kind of the things that sort of set you off, right? So what you have to do when you're highly sensitive is use a little Gottman, and the Gottman couples work. And one of the best things ever, remember this: no child or adult can learn anything when they're over aroused. You can't change your behavior. You can't change anything about yourself when you're over aroused, overwhelmed, overstimulated, dysregulated. You have to return to optimal level of arousal in order to do anything. So what all couples with a sensitive person in them, but it's all the more important if you're both highly sensitive, you need a lot of breaks. And in Gottman, they put pulsometers. I guess now most of you have a smartwatch probably, and you can check your heart rate. And when they say in Gottman, if your heart rate's over 100 beats per minute, you have to stop talking. You're not allowed to continue. You have to take a break and schedule when you will return to each other. Now, I say for HSPs, 100 might be too high. Figure out when you're doing well what your heart rate is. And then figure out when you start to feel like you're going, you're getting over aroused, what is that heart rate? It might not be 100, it might be 90. I don't know. You know. So the number one tip for relationships, for marriages and relationships, is to know when you're getting to that point, and to have an agreement when you're not at that point with the person with whom you're in relationship, your children even, and say that I need a pause. I got to take a little break. Can we pick this back up in half an hour or 3 hours? I promise I'll be in touch. I'm not dropping out of this conversation. So that's my number one most important tip. I also really recommend for couples that you study the Imago dialogue, because there's a script for processing discussions, and it is amazing for a highly sensitive person. When you get a little, just having a serious discussion is over arousing for me. So I love having a script to follow, and it's brilliant.